Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? I got nothing to talk about today. If you want, go check that recap video out. It was a huge weekend, lots of stuff going on. Today, we're just going to jump into the CombatWambat's defense. Remember, if you want your defense featured on Defense Up, down in the description, you will find my links to Discord. Send me 3 pics of your defense, a little blurb of how you want this to play out, and I will get you on the list. While you're down there, hit that like button. Subscribe for more of these. I try to make them a little bit entertaining. All right, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power level, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I got my caffeine going. Chat's been hanging out with me talking about silly TV shows and movies, and we're having a lot of fun here. Okay, so team number 1 is this Brotherhood with Ultron in it. A lot of people are building up Ultron right now because, I don't know, Pocket Dimension. A lot of people are excited to use him in Pocket Dimension. They're putting the red stars on him and stuff. Hey, he's a fan favorite. Some people like to build him. Not me. I don't think he's worth it. But if you got a big Ultron, throw him in with this Brotherhood team. It can cause some problems. The taunt off a blob and then being picked up by Juggernaut is going to give Ultron plenty of time to get going. They're going to have to use something to punch up on this team. Otherwise, they're going to have to punch down in a big way. I think they would come in with something like Ultron to strip the taunt and put a ability block on, or to strip the taunt off a blob and put the ability block on Ultron. So if they, did I say Zemo? They're going to bring Zemo in here to strip the taunt and put the ability block on Ultron, and then they can probably beat this. So keep that in mind. Keep things in mind like that what they're going to use to beat your first couple of teams, they won't have to beat the last couple of teams. And you might want to see if you can make some teams that would require that character twice. Okay. Yeah, I don't like, let's see. Raider on Toad is okay because you've got 3 people putting out vulnerables. Blob's going to be retaliating a lot. He's going to be putting out vulnerables. Raider on Magneto is good for some crit damage. Although we're in this resistance meta, you might want to consider putting a skirmisher on Magneto these days to make sure the blinds stick. Fortifier on Ultron to keep him alive so he can get going. Okay, I get that. That works. I wish that his ultimate was unavoidable. And then you put Healer on Juggernaut. I don't like that. I think Juggernaut should be Raider. Personally, I think Toad should be Skirmisher also, but Raider works there. I can live with all these ISOs. I just think there are better choices for the ISOs. I like the placement. I like who you're using. It's okay. Nothing super special here. I think there's some room for improvement. I'm going to give you an A- on this one. Team number 2 is the Skillety. Skillety's old news. You built him. You want to get some value out of him. You're throwing him on defense. I think Healer on your Merc is a total waste. I think you should make him a skirmisher. He will attack once. You will get to place that vulnerable. Although, however, on second thought, it looks like you've got 2 Raiders and a skirmisher and 2 healers, so you don't even have any strikers soaking him up. So what the heck? Leave him as a healer. Maybe this team will stay alive a little bit longer. I don't think so. It's not too bad. I don't know why you've got Black Widow built up so much. Maybe you're using her somewhere for some content. I think she's like the 6th or 7th best pick for everything everywhere. Not too shabby. Again, there's some tweaks you could make. I'm not excited about this team. I would like to see better defenses than this, but I think that you probably used them. You built them when they were the hot sauce, and then they're not so great anymore, and you're just kind of putting them on defense. So, okay, A- for this, moving on. H for H. A lot of people at the high end are taking their Red Guardian and putting him on this team in place of Iron Fist. That might be something you want to do. Let's see, that Red Guardian is 123. Oh, yeah, your Iron Fist is way built up, so you probably have to put some work in it. But that's the thing you can do for other people who are watching this. If they want to build up their Red Guardian to throw in here in place of Iron Fist, it does make it a little bit more frustrating. I like that Luke Cage is not in the corner. I do like Misty Knight in the corner. That's kind of frustrating when you come into this with a Weapon X team and you have to use the ability block on Misty Knight, and you're like, oh man, there's that splash damage getting wasted on nobody. So I like the placement, I like the ISOs. Who you're using is good. There are alternatives, but this is an A team. Moving on to number 4. It's a wave 1-ish kind of thing. I like Hasgard better than using Thor on this team. The Hasgardians are really starting to get good. I'm actually starting to see a lot of value in that team. They're not as bad as I originally thought. They're still not great. You still do need to invest in the whole team and build them up. but they're a Scourge team, so I am suggesting to people to take them to Gear Tier 14, see how you like them. If you are enjoying the team, build them bigger, but otherwise, Gear Tier 14, I think you're going to get some really solid value out of them in Scourge. They may not be the premier choice for that, but I think it's a safe bet to take them to 14. If you can spare those Mystic gear, you know, because I mean, it's just Mystic gear, right? It's not like anybody really uses Mystic gear. Okay, Vision and Iron Man paired up on this. That's cool. We're getting the Gamma reworks to Hulk, so he's fresh and new. The only old person on this is Captain America, and he's not even that bad. So I mean, it's something to do. It's a decent team. I would like to see you change some placement, though. I want to see you swap places with Thor and Captain America. I'd like to see you swap places with Vision and Iron Man. That way, you've got your tanks on one side, you've got Vision in the middle, who is super dodgy and will help break up chain attacks and things like that. Let's see, as for your ISOs, those are great. I think you're going to change Vision to a Raider for his Bionic Avenger raid team. There's just so much raid crit damage going up on that team. I think you're probably going to change it. His focus boost was pretty decent. He doesn't have any more problems landing things, so there's no more need to make him a skirmisher. Lots of AoEs out of this. So we got some tweaks we could make with an ISO and a placement change. I'm going to give you a B+ for this. I would like to see you build the Hasgard team and put them on defense and find somebody else in place of Thor. Probably like your Black Widow here. She could go over there, and your Red Guardian could go to this team and then make this team better. Replace your Skillety with the Hasgard team. Team number 5 is the Marauders with Madeline Pryor. Okay, Stripe as a healer is great. You put Mystique next to him because she goes invisible. I'm finding that she goes invisible a little bit too late, and I like to put Emma next to Stripe because Emma can take the splash damage and not die from it. You keep the evades, the deflects, all that stuff on Mystique. She can transfer it to Sinister, and Sinister does its thing. You have Fortifier on Sinister. That's not really necessary. They're either going to target Sinister and kill him, or he's going to clone somebody. I don't think the Fortifier is going to make a difference. I think you should make him a healer. He has lots of healing in his kit. He uses it. Skirmisher on Emma is fine because there's a reason for it. I do like her better as a healer. Just making this team have a lot of sustain and like timeout, and then just building your Stripe as big as you can. So beef up Stripe if you're serious about this team. I don't think the team is worth investing in. I think they're another team that really gets good at $1 million+, and you need lots of stars on Madeline Pryor for it to really function well. So Madeline, by the way, does need to be a striker. So basically, I think there's better ISO choices for Sinister and Emma. These aren't too bad. There's definitely a better choice for Madeline Pryor, which is Striker. I think Stripe should be built bigger. Those are the things you should do to make this team better, but honestly, I don't think the team is really worth it. There's more important things to be building in the game right now. So I'm going to go with a B-. Web Warriors, you put Symbiote Spider-Man in here in place of Punk. That's good. Symbiote Spider-Man gives them a big health boost, and I like it. It's something that people can do if you don't really want to invest in Punk, especially if you already invested in your symbiotes. Okay, OG Spider-Man could be a skirmisher, and I would like Symbiote Spider-Man to be a raider or a skirmisher, so he's landing the positive effects, or he's just doing more crit damage with his chain attacks and stuff. So I don't like the healer ISO. Raider on OG is okay, but I'm finding I absolutely have to change him to a skirmisher for the high-end raid content. He's just not landing that stun when I need it to land. So make those changes, otherwise your placement's fine. I like who you're using and everything. I'm gonna go B+ for that team. Actually, I'm gonna go A- for that team. That Raider isn't that critical. Maybe at your level it's pretty good. So I'm gonna go A- for that team. Team number 7 is the Uncanny XMen. Now, if this team was at equal power level, I'd say we'd need a big placement change. However, I see what you're kind of doing here. You're trying to keep your Cyclops and your Storm alive because they don't have as big of an investment in them. So this placement is good for now. But once you get them built up, I'd like to see Magic at one end, Phoenix at the other end, then Cyclops, then Storm, and then... let's see. We'll go Phoenix, Colossus, Cyclops, Storm, and then Magic in that order. Put Skirmisher on Colossus, please. He counterattacks a bunch, especially if you got the proper T4s in him, and you'll be putting those vulnerables out there. And why in God's name do you have Fortifier on Phoenix? She's supposed to die. Get that off of there. You're doing yourself an injustice. Make her anything but Fortifier. It doesn't carry over to her Phoenix, her Dark Phoenix form, so it really doesn't matter. I like making her a Striker and Storm a Skirmisher. That way Storm gets that focus boost and lands the stuns and stuff, and there's a little bit of a combo that can be pulled off there. Raider on Storm is fine because you get that massive damage when she crits, so that's good too. Either choice works. And then Striker on Cyclops is correct. Healer on Magic. No, make Magic the Fortifier so Magic stays alive longer than Phoenix does. You've got it backwards. You need Phoenix to die and Magic to stay alive. So let's swap those. That kind of offends me. That ISO choice on Phoenix just irks me a lot. Plus, 243,000, man, even if you take that Fortifier off there, you're going to have trouble getting Phoenix to die. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, but is what it is. So, okay, we're going to go with a C for that team. Number 8. Kind of a mismatch of characters, but they work well together. You've got some shield synergy on the left there. You've got the Inhuman synergy in the bottom left. You've got Doc Ock putting deflex up on your heavy hitters, keeping them alive. You've got some turn meter rewind coming off of Coulson, but he's coming out really fast and going to be laying that out before anybody other than Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo does need to be a Skirmisher. You might consider changing Coulson to a Raider on this team. Nah, I like it the way it is. It's an option. Coulson works good as a Raider on defense, but he can also be used as a Striker on defense if you've got a lot of vulnerables out for him to double tap into and use that cool basic of his. I like Surfer as a Raider for the crit damage. Black Bolt, I almost called him Bullseye. Black Bolt as a Striker is great. Healer on Doc Ock. This is a good team. It's a good comp, good placement. Everything's good here. I'll give you the A for that one. Moving on to team number 9 is your Young Avengers. I don't like Miss Marvel in the corner, but I'm hearing that a lot of people actually want her in the corner, especially on the Miles build when you replace America Chavez with Miles. Then you put Ms. Marvel and then Miles next to her, and then you want her in the corner. But Miles ain't on this team. Somebody's going to argue a reason for this placement. They always do. But I don't like Ms. Marvel in the corner. I think you should move her. I think you should change Kate to a Skirmisher. That's working out really well for me. Go ahead and build Kate up into the teal gear if you want. I mean, if you can spare it, I guess. We're in this day and age where you have to build the exact things that Scopely wants you to build in order to get to Apocalypse. So if you're not so pressed on getting to Apocalypse, I would take Kate up into the teal gear. She's useful in a lot of places, and I'm finding her a great character. Since you win, the rest of this team, if you want this team to hold, Kate needs to be as strong as the rest of them. America Chavez is actually my least favorite on this team, and she has some good passive effects. Anyways, change the ISO, change the placement, B+ for that team. Team number 10, Dormammu and Doom on the same new warrior team. You're just throwing everything in on this, aren't you? Okay. So Dagger is giving the offense up to Doom and Dormammu, both of which are probably not going to take a turn. They're going to get either ability blocked or just blown up by an Eternal before anything happens. I mean, I guess Doom is just going to revive because of Dormammu. It's a big, scary team, but honestly, it's one of those teams where you just made it so big that they're going to come into it with everything they possibly can in order to one-shot the team. I think you should pull Doom off of this, or better yet, take Doom and Dormammu off of this team, build something else out of the new Warriors, just, usual run-of-the-mill stuff that people have to work at, but then put Doom and Dormammu on a different team, maybe with America Chavez speeding them both up, right? And then, so they'll go faster, they'll all be getting revives from Dormammu, and it forces them to go into it with something huge. And now you've got this big new warrior team. Nothing crazy, but it's still a big team that they have to take seriously. And then you've also got your Dormammu Doom team sped up by America Chavez that they've got to take really seriously. And then you've still got your Young Avengers that is a challenging team with Miles in there. So these are some options for you. I just think you're overdoing it. And you're not getting a whole lot of value by adding Doom into this team or by adding Dormammu to this team. I think you should either pull one or both of them out of it and make 2 separate teams, spread it out a little bit more, see what you can get going. Honestly, though, this is, I mean, it's huge. It's a scary team. You've got 1.5 people putting out vulnerables because of the kits on the new Warriors. And then you got 4 strikers. I think you're a little imbalanced there too. You might think about changing Doom to a Raider on this and see if that helps get some more vulnerables for these strikers to go into. I don't know. I mean, it's big, it's scary. I think it's just overdone. I don't think it has it doesn't excite me as much as it might other people. So for me, I'm gonna go B+ on this. I just think we should be doing something better. And I also think you should probably, if you're going to keep this team, I think you should change some ISOs to get more vulnerables on the field. This has been the CombatWambat's defense. Thank you for showing up and watching. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.